Hey everybody, it's ShinespriteDitto welcoming you back for more Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. In the last part, we began some side quests and visited Lon Lon Ranch to learn a song from Milan. And now in this episode, I went ahead and saved when I was in Hyrule Field so that I could reset my game and immediately come back to Kokiri Forest. Because we said that it would be a good idea that because it's been so long since we've seen Saria, we would visit the forest and try to tell her about how we're going to save Hyrule. That's a great way to start this part. If you walk up here, and I made sure it was nighttime, and you're probably going to want to do the same if you're wanting to get 100%, or at least a good majority of the game. We'll want to backflip behind this house, which is the Know-It-All Brothers, and there's a gold Skulltula, which is just above the range of the sword. And we'd have to jump. We have to jump to grab it. And yeah, we're already beginning the part with another gold Skulltula. Hopefully that's a good sign of things to come. See if we can make as much progress in this part as possible. And what does Navi have to say? What would Saria say if we told her we're going to save Hyrule? That's a very good question, and I also want to know what she will say. Will she be proud of us? Will she be happy for us? Saria wanted to see you. Did she find you already? Well, no, we were actually looking for her. If you look and talk to the people around Kokiri Forest, Saria said she's waiting at the usual spot. So it seems like Saria is not here, and she is in a different section of the forest. And there is one section of the forest that we haven't been to. You can actually come here when you're on the quest to go to the Great Deku Tree, and you can even mess around for a little bit, but you can't exactly do anything until about this point in the game, where we can find Saria. But if you come up here, the Lost Woods, ooh. A certified hood classic. This song is iconic. If you don't know Zelda, if you don't know Ocarina of Time, if you don't pull out the letters Zelda gave us, if you don't know the Lost Woods, you know what this song is. Everybody loves this song. It's amazing. So how do we maneuver through the Lost Woods? If you go the wrong way and you don't hesitate and just rush your way through, you'll come to find that we'll just end up back in Kokiri Forest. So what we're supposed to do is that if we pay close attention, if we can't go that way, the music will stop. But if we come really close to the edge here, we can figure out which direction we're supposed to move in. So that's how we're going to be maneuvering through the Lost Woods. And here, we have a couple things for us to do already in the Lost Woods. If we see something that looks like a dartboard, we're going to want to try to get the best score possible. Boing, 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 boing. Cool! You're great! You scored 3 perfect bullseyes! I have to give a neat person to such a wonderful present. Your Deku Seeds bullet bag has become bigger! So we can carry 50 bullets now, which is the maximum we can have for our slingshot, so that's completely maxed out. If we come down here, some skull kids with their flutes will appear, and they won't say anything. They will just stare at you ominously until you decide to accompany them with your flute. Follow along with our song on your ocarina. We'll lead you into it. So what they're going to do is they're going to play a series of notes. We are going to listen to both of them play it and then repeat it back to them. I really recommend that you get like a piece of paper and just write it down as you follow along. We're going to have to do this 3 times. It starts off not too bad. I think it only has 5 notes. But as it progresses and we do it the second time and the third time, they're going to add more and more notes each time. And yeah, that was quite a nice session. As a token of our friendship, please take this. And for our efforts, we get a green rupee. But yeah, I really just recommend that you write down the notes that they're playing so you can easily just look at it and play it back. Because you can get tripped up on just a singular note. So I'm going to go ahead and cut ahead because you're just going to be seeing me do this for 3 times, and there's really no need to see them play it, see me play it, and so on and so forth. That was quite a nice session. As a token of our friendship, please take this. And we got a piece of heart! We now have 3 pieces. We are only just 1 fragment away from being able to add a 5th heart to our total. That's kind of insane. There are 20 hearts total in the game, and we will be a quarter of the way there. That's really nice. If we head through here, there is something I want to say about what we just did, but of course we got to be interrupted by a stupid owl. Hey, over here, Link. Good to see you again. I'm sure it is, buddy. Listen to this, Hoot Hoot. After going through the Lost Woods, you will come upon the Sacred Forest Meadow. That is a sacred place where few people have ever walked. Shh, what's that? I can hear a mysterious tune. You should listen for that tune too. Do you want to hear what I said again? No, I kind of already explained that already. If you are courageous, you will make it through the forest just fine. Just follow your ears and listen to the sounds coming from the forest. Hoot hoot. The sounds of the forest will be our guide. So I'm just going to continue going through here while I talk about what we just did. It is random each time you do it. Every playthrough, what I got for mine is not going to be what you got for yours, and vice versa, and so on and so forth. Like, every time you play and every time you try that, it's going to have random notes. So you can't really follow along with just whatever I did. But you're going to have to be real precise, especially if you are playing not on 64 where it's the control pad and you use the control stick. Because sometimes it'll count that you're going a different direction and mess you all up, and it's really frustrating when that happens. But I will give a tip here in a minute for playing the Ocarina if you're playing the Nintendo Switch version, like I am. But for now, we made it to the Sacred Forest Meadow. So it seems that we are at the end of the Lost Woods. And we have a new enemy here, the Wolfos. Draw it close to you and watch its movement carefully. Attack it when it drops its guard. However, we can sort of just immediately have it open up, because if it attacks you, you can use a Deku Nut, get behind it, which is its weak... I said get behind it, and just kill it in one shot. Nice and simple. Like I said, Deku Nuts are really underrated and are going to be your best friends throughout like the entire playthrough. And it really shows that people like Ego Raptor that talk about how much waiting, which I know that video is like 28 million years old, but that talk about like all the waiting in Ocarina of Time, they just really just only use the sword and don't go out of their way to use like their items for combat, because you can really control the pace of battle a lot more if you put things in your own hands and take advantage and experiment with your items. And speaking of which, when Deku Scrubs are popped out, if you're far enough away, you can immediately get them out of their Deku Scrubs by just throwing a Deku Nut. So that's a really nice, easy way to do that. Instead of having to wait around and bump their seeds back with your shield, you can just throw a Deku Nut. And this maze here is pretty simple. It's kind of hard to get lost through here, because no matter which direction you go, you're pretty much bound to just walk along the path and end up at the end here. And I'm just gonna ignore these guys and come up here. And what an odd place. There's just this massive building deep within the forest. Otherwise, this forest entirely, Kokiri and the Lost Woods, are just kind of untouched, but there's just this huge structure here. I've been waiting for you, Link. This is the Sacred Forest Meadow. It's my special place. I feel this place will be very important for both of us someday. That's what I feel. If you play the Ocarina here, you can talk with the spirits in the forest. Would you like to play the Ocarina with me? Of course we would. Okay, try to follow along with the melody I play. Are you ready? Great, great! Please don't forget this song. Do you promise? Of course we do. When you want to hear my voice, play Saria's song. You can talk with me anytime. You've learned Saria's song. Alright, so we can use the spirits of the forest in order to communicate with Saria regardless of where we're at in Hyrule. We will pretty much not be doing this at all. I know it's unfortunate, because Saria's song is really iconic. Like, everybody knows Saria's song. Even if you haven't played Zelda, or even know what Zelda is, you've definitely heard the song. But all it does is let us talk to Saria, which is nice, and it's cute that we can just always talk to her no matter where we are. It's like she's on the journey with us. And ooh, a little hidden grotto. A fairy's fountain. You can come across some of these in Hyrule, but since I'm a little low on health, just running into one will heal us. Now, if our bottle were to be empty, that has the milk in it, we could actually use our empty bottle to capture one of the fairies. And they can recover, I believe that is 10 hearts. They can recover 10 hearts from you if you let them out, but also, I think they recover you fully if you let them out, but when you die, they recover 10 hearts. They will bring you back to life. It's kind of like a one more, basically. If you have a fairy inside of a bottle and you die, it will just immediately come out and revive you, and you can continue battle. So, I just wanted to show that off, in case some of you are struggling a little bit with the combat. You can just capture one of those, and have a little bit of an easier time. Did you learn an Ocarina song from Saria? That melody seems to have some mysterious power. There may be some other mysterious songs like this that you can learn in Hyrule. If you hold the Ocarina with C, or a melody... Okay. Excuse me? No. Melodies you have learned will be recorded on the quest status subscreen. Why would you give me the option to scroll through quickly on everything else you said, except the most obvious thing? He was basically telling us that if we're ever at a location where a melody is necessary to play, a score will pop up, indicating that we have to play a song there, and I will mention that and point that out whenever it becomes relevant, because otherwise, if we just pull out the ocarina, nothing appears. And also, what I said for those of you who are struggling with playing the ocarina with a control stick, if you're on the Switch version and you hold ZR, your face buttons, X, A, Y, and B, they actually become like a C-pad, where X is up, A is right, B is down, and Y is left. The caveat to this, however, is that the A button doesn't work, and that is also another song that we use to play the ocarina. So if you're playing a song that has the A button in it, you're gonna want to have to let go of ZR so that you can press the A button. If you're struggling with repeating the songs back to Skull Kid, then you might want to try holding ZR and use the face buttons to see if you can get the more accurate precision on whatever song you're trying to play. We're going to go through whichever way just so we end up back in Kokiri Forest, but we're going to want to go back into the Lost Woods. And now from the start, we're going to take a left this time, and we see yet another Skull Kid. And this is what he's talking about. There's a song that we can play, and it's necessary to continue further with what we're trying to do, so a score pops up indicating that we have to play a song here. And let's try Saria's song. I mean, we just learned it. Let's give it a shot. You played Saria's song. You know Saria's song? We should be friends. Here, take this. You've completed another heart container. So now we have our energy up to 5. If you get too close to the Skull Kid without playing Saria's song, he will actually vanish, but once you play it, he actually stays. Hi, do you think my face is kind of plain? It's just not very unusual. Well, I'm glad we made friends with this nice little Skull Kid. I'm sure that he will never do anything evil whatsoever. Skull Kid, is this what happens to kids who get lost in this forest? He seems unhappy to have no face. Oh boy. Alright. So, this is Skull Kid. if you are playing the 3DS version, later N64 cartridges including ported versions like the GameCube and Switch versions of Ocarina of Time, Skull Kid looks kind of like a duck. He has a wooden face and he has a beak, and that's all well and good. But I'm just going to show you what Skull Kid looks like if you are playing early versions of Ocarina of Time. Yeah, you can see why this was changed to be a wooden face. Not a very good image to have. But hey, at least we have 5 whole hearts now. That's really nice. So you can see an example of how the heart pieces work. Of course, once you have 4, it goes back to you having none. So when we collect 4 again, we'll have yet another heart added. There are 20 hearts total, and we have 5, so we're already a quarter of the way there. Kind of crazy. But now, we need to leave the forest because we were told by Impa that we go to the village beside Hyrule Castle, Kakariko Village. That'll lead us to Death Mountain, where we can find the Gorons, and they will give us the Spiritual Stone of Fire, so Ganondorf cannot use it and enter the Sacred Realm. And yeah, that's basically a small little recap for what was going on in the story, because we've been doing a lot of side stuff. So we're going to go ahead and make our way back over there towards the mountain, so that we can continue on with our journey. But before we do, let's try playing Saria's song outside of the forest and actually communicate with her. You want to talk to Saria, right? Of course. Link? This is Saria. Can you hear me? The forest is connected to many places. If you can hear my song, you must be somewhere that is connected to the forest. Do you want to talk to Saria again? No, she pretty much helped us out with that. And that's kind of what Saria's song will do. It's just if you're ever wondering about and not really doing anything, or you're stuck on something, if you play Saria's song, she will give you a hint on what to do, and she will also tell you little secrets about the world, just at different points in time. I really wonder if there's like a catalog of every single thing that is possible for Saria to say. Obviously, I'm not going to show that, because I would be playing Saria's song over and over at every point in the game, but to sort of make this playthrough more authentic and keep in touch with Saria, I think I might be playing it at least after like every single dungeon, just to sort of communicate with her a little bit more. So let's make our way to Kakariko Village, finally progressing on with the story. Kakariko Village. What do you have to say? Ding dong, I am a clock soldier of Kakariko. The current time is 7:14. Hello there, son. Zelda's attendant, the Great Impa, opened this village to the common people. We have only a small population now, but someday this place will be as lively as Hyrule Castle Town. Oh, yes it will. Climb up the stairs at the north end of the village to find the trail that leads up to Death Mountain. But you need the king's permission to actually go up the mountain. Which makes no sense to me. I mean, there are literal people up there, the Gorons. I know it's their natural habitat, but I don't see why they can't get visitors. Well, I know why, actually. It's to lock us out of story progress until we go to Hyrule Castle. You can come to Kakariko Village before going to Hyrule Castle, and you can even talk around and explore things, but you aren't able to progress further outside of the village until you've been to Hyrule Castle. And because of that, you can do some stuff, but there's not a whole lot you can do. So as a result, I just decided to wait until we would come here naturally to sort of show off the village instead of going out of our way just to do one thing when we would just be coming right back here. I am the boss of the carpenters that Impa hired to improve this village and make it into a true city. But young men these days don't have any ambition. Do you know what I mean, kid? My workers are just running aimlessly around the village, and they're not making any progress at all. Even my own son doesn't have a job, and he just wanders around all day. They're all worthless, I tell you. Well, even in 1998, all old people did was complain about the youth. Kids these days, and their unemployment, and they're running around, and their afros. All day long, we are working on many construction projects in the village. It's going to take a while before everything is done. Our boss works us very hard. Well, it does seem like he's right. These guys are just kind of lollygagging. I dare say they're dilly-daddling. There's another worker up here. This seems to be a construction site itself. Let's climb up here. Well, I guess let's not climb up there. Actually, I think Z targeting might be a little bit easier if we are capable of doing that. And of course, I mentioned that. We're not. He pushed me off! Okay, I am determined to see what this guy has to say to us. Even if it kills me. Look at that poor girl over there. She works so hard taking care of her chickens, even though touching them gives her goosebumps. What a trooper! I would really like to help her. I've just been feeling so charitable these days. Don't you feel that way too? And once again, it doesn't seem like these guys are really working, but I guess the N64 isn't capable of making models actively working on something. Hello? What should I do? My cuckoos have all flown away. You little boy, please help me bring them back to this pen. There's one right there. If we talk to her, we'll learn that she's actually allergic to the chickens, so she actually cannot pick them up. So we would have to do it, because she is incapable of grabbing them. Dark, narrow, scary. Well of 3 features. That's actually a pretty funny sign. Just 3 simple adjectives. We actually have this fence here that we cannot get behind. I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. But instead, there's also one up here that we can't really reach. But we noticed when we were coming in here that there is a cuckoo right here. We're going to go ahead and grab all of these for her because I do feel like if we help her out, because, you know, saving Hyrule isn't just about, you know, protecting the world from evil and all that. It's about helping out the common man, getting them through their daily struggles, helping them with their jobs, just being as nice as possible to make the world a better place. And it's definitely not because we will get a reward from it. I'm going to throw that one in there. And up this way, which we haven't really been to this way yet. It's weird, if you stand too close to it when they're revealed, you actually won't pick it up. And so this one that is fenced off here that we can't climb up to. And yes, Link is too short to climb up here. You cannot just climb up here. You can jump across with the cuckoo. Throw that back down. And now we can actually grab this one. So that is how we get this one. Throw that in there. And we're going to want to grab this one again. And the one that's stuck behind the fence, we can get to by coming up towards the windmill. And you want to throw it right as you're approaching the top here, because otherwise Link will just be a little bit too short. But he does get a boost whenever he's right on top. So whenever you throw the chickens, he moves up a little bit. So that's how you're supposed to get over here. And you want to throw this over. And you probably saw when I was moving the camera around that instead of jumping right back over, you're going to want to come over here and climb up this ladder. Because there's another cuckoo waiting for us up here. And now we have all 3 back on this side of the fence. Wow, that took a while. I didn't want to throw it because I didn't want it to run away from me. And I know that this is like an odd thing to point out, but my cookies have run away. Please bring back the other 3 to this pen. Well, we know where 2 of them are. But this is a weird thing to point out, and I think I'm the only person that would mention this or talk about this. But I have to say, if you are playing the 3DS version of this game, when you're walking with the feathers, with the chickens, and the feathers come back like that, it actually has a really cool 3D effect, because the feathers do really pop out, and it just looks really cool. I don't know why, but I just really love that detail of the 3DS version. It looks really neat to me. But I'm also like one of 3 people to actually use the 3D function on the 3DS. I always thought it was really cool. and it looked really good, but I do understand why everybody can't do it, especially if you have sensitive eyes. I am rambling and rambling and rambling and rambling and rambling and rambling. And we only have one more cuckoo left, and we haven't been to this up part of the village here towards Death Mountain. So let's go ahead and check this place out, because that's probably where it is if we haven't been there. And sure enough, a cuckoo waiting for us. Yeet! Thank you for finding my cuckoos. I have allergies, so I get goosebumps when I touch them. For helping me, I will give this to you. It's fine glass and should be useful. Please take good care of it. And now we have a pure empty bottle. So there is nothing in here. We can actually go ahead. You can catch different stuff like spiders, fish. You can always go back to Lon Lon Ranch and fill it up with some milk. Or like I said, you can capture a fairy. I'm going to save it for when we come across fairies naturally in the world, because it's always nice to have that backup just in case something happens if my health gets low. I don't really see that happening, but you never know when you're going to need a nice little restore. I'm going to go around to 2 more places in the village, and then I say that we end it off here. This used to be the Great Impa's house, but she doesn't live here any longer. It is now open to all villagers. You are free to go on in. This village used to be Sheikah Village, but the Great Impa opened it to everyone. Yeah, so it looks like it was really closed off, just only set for the Sheikah, and a whole bunch of books. Oh my god. Hey kid, do you always enter other people's houses without permission? Didn't your parents teach you any manners? Oh well. Did you see a lady behind this house? She's going through hard times. Oh well. If that lady asks you about chickens, you should listen to her. Okay, I mean, I had permission to come in here, but ooh, heart piece. Give. Okay, well, not much luck here, but we can see that there is a hole behind this cow. Well, you can kind of see these N64 backgrounds all just kind of blur together. And it's really cool that we can walk up here and get a red rupee, but it's just so blurry that it's really hard to appreciate just being able to walk up here. But it is cool that there's like a second layer to this house that we can just jump down. Not a whole lot of inside buildings are going to have an up top area like that, so it is cool to see that it's like a more well-rounded house. Did not mean to do that. And there's one more house over here that we haven't been to. I just really want to show off the village. It's a nice little peaceful village. I don't really see how they think that this place is going to be as popular as Hyrule Castle Town, though. And House of Skulltula. Oh, hello! Yarg! I'm cursed! Don't bring that over here to me, buddy! We all look like this because of the spider's curse. If every spider of the curse in the entire world were destroyed, the curse would be broken. When you destroy a spider of the curse, a token will appear, collected as proof of your achievement. The number next to this icon on the quest status subscreen indicates how many spiders of the curse you have destroyed so far. When this icon is displayed next to the name of the area on the map subscreen, there are no more spiders in that area. Look for them not only in the open, but also inside the dungeons. Of course, this is just our dream. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. If you break the curse on my family, we will make you very rich. Okay, so it seems like we now have an answer to why we're collecting those gold Skulltulas. Like I said, there are 100 in the game. We have 8 of them. There are 6 members of this guy's family, and progressively, as we get the Skulltulas, more and more of these guys will start to become human, and they will reward us each time we reach a milestone. I'll be sure to stop by here every time we reach a new milestone, and when we have all 100, the Granddaddy Papa Spider here will be the one that is set free, and he will have a reward for us that will not make anybody angry whatsoever. Again, it's just like the Korok Seeds. And they also mentioned that when we're on the map subscreen, if we have a... Which I guess I can point a little bit more of this out now that the map is uncovered. If the gold Skulltula icon appears near the map, there are no more Skulltulas for us to get in that area. so we can see that in some of these places, we still have quite a ways to go before we have our Sculptulus maximized. What? Oh, why is this on the map? We haven't been to this area. Why is it on the map? It shouldn't be there. It should be covered by clouds. Why is there an icon? Does it do this every time? I'm gonna check and see if it does. I'm gonna play the 3DS version just to check and see if it does this. But I have never noticed that. I don't really pull up the map a whole lot. Zora's Domain. Yeah, we have never heard of that place. We haven't walked over there. Nobody has told us about it. We haven't been there in any sort of way. I have no idea why this is popping up on our map. But we can also see that there are glowing spots on the map. This highlights where you need to start going to next to progress the story. It's a nice subtle way of showing you that this is the general area you need to be in with their stuff that you need to do. So if you're ever lost, just pull up your map and see what direction you need to start heading into. But yeah, we got to Kakariko Village, we learned Saria's song, got some more heart pieces, and a new empty bottle. Next time on The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, we're going to explore the village a little bit more, as well as make our way to Death Mountain. Alright, I'll see you guys then!